All right. These will probably be really quick videos because I'm on vacation. And when I'm actually not home, I'm at the lake in a cabin with questionable internet. We don't know how good this internet is. And it's all set up on like a kitchen tabletop. I don't think I got my spear completely straight here, so let's make sure I can flip that a little bit. And that doesn't look right. I'll keep doing this until it looks right. That looks better than before. But that's what I always do on my vacations, is do a lot of drawing, do a lot of art. All right. And we're seemingly getting somewhere on this chapter header. The reason I don't really call it a splash page it's technically it's in continuity, and we're going to treat it as if it's the next page on the comic, whereas to a reader it would be transparent, but it's going to say chapter 3 at the top. There's not going to be any dialogue, although there could be dialogue. I don't know, maybe I'll put some in there. Maybe not. I keep working this. All right. So what else is going on in the world right now? Nothing much. I've been in the car all day, so I don't really know. I haven't really been following a lot of stuff. You tell me. I know I'm supposed to do something with wind block with one of the other characters. I can't remember his name. Vortex, I think. I will check it out. And then I'll get back to you. You said like Batman, but without the ear parts of his masks. But I want to definitely check out his costume. See what he's all about. I'm looking at this guy's shield, and I think he definitely needs another hand. All right. Same deal here with this spear. Let's take a look and see if it works. That looks like it kind of works. I mean, obviously I got to make the textures match. And maybe even make the length of the spears match. But let's see. Let's take a look. Same deal here. My method is to try and get the basic shape, plotted in there, and then we start going for details later on. I think that's what everybody does. There was a discussion, I think I didn't explain it very well, but there's a discussion going on the Discord, which is the Adventures in Comic Making Discord. Feel free to check it out. Where Bishop had noticed, like in a Korean webcomic, the cartoonist had used sound effects for like grin and smirk, like a literal sound effect. And most people were thinking this is not that great of a thing. You know, it's used sometimes in manga. Like I was looking at today. I'm reading the Dragon Ball Z manga. Not the first Dragon Ball, but the second series where um, he gets killed kind of in the opening chapter, and then Goku gets killed, and then he goes off to go train in the underworld, in the heavens. And it's the same thing. They use there's sound effects for wobble. I guess wobble could be like a cartoon sound effect, even. Like you would hear a wobbling sound, wobble, wobble, wobble. Right? It's almost onomatopoeic. And of course, is it necessary? No. But is it at least interesting? Which that's to me the better question. You can also see this in One Punch Man. Veen. Veen is a stare. When the bad guy stares at someone, it'll say Veen like that, and it's just a sound effect. It's the sound effect that they might use in the anime or if it were animated or something. And what I think it reflects, what it goes back to, is cartoon language. If you look on the pyramid, Scott McCloud pyramid, which goes between picture plane, realism or reality, and abstraction. You know, we might have these traced MFing photo type comics over here on the very corner of realism. And then at the very far end of abstraction, it's even beyond a stick figure. It's even, you know, it's super abstract. You know. And then for um, on the abstraction thing here, we might have the literal word, right? So that's where Veen is, and so on. And then your comics can pull elements from different places. So, for example, like Milk and If might have realism, but it might also have some cartoony characters which are straying towards the picture plane, or straying towards the abstraction plane. Howard the Duck exists alongside Man Thing, right? One example that I like to use is the Al Cap sweat bullet, or Steve Ditko like to use for Spider-Man. Let's see if I haven't drawn a very good Spider-Man here. You know, when he was thinking about a secret identity, he would cover half the face in there. It's an abstraction, obviously. So that's real cartooning language. And I think that's interesting, actually. Um, Another example is the thought balloon. Different ways to communicate with your audience to tell the story. All right, let's get this thing in. When I moved from the barbarian form of Brillig here, well, these were already pretty bizarro, but we were trying to go for a superhero realism. This would put us maybe near the lower part of the pyramid, but maybe only about 75% of the way. You'll notice we've slowly gone more abstract, you know. And people get into these weird arguments about things like style and what's my style? I gotta find my style. I've got to incorporate that style. I've got to steal that style, right? I'm doing it, but 90s style. And in a way, I'm no different. I mean, I only like Bronze Age comics. I mean, so I like Bronze Age and Silver Age. That's it, and Golden Age. Like if the gradient is digital, like if you put a digital gradient in the comic, I don't like it. I'm like, nope, not getting that one. Unless it's Corbin, who could do a gradient but with an airbrush. Even then, it's a bit suspect. You know, you take a look at things like um, Nemesis the Warlock. I believe it's called Nemesis the Warlock. Amazing art in it. What was going on in that comic? I don't know. There was an Inquisitor, you know, um, etc. And I've already kind of roasted the, you know, you run across the dude who's like painting his comic. I'm gonna paint each panel, and what happens? I don't know. Just stuff happens, one page at a time. And I think that those are not great comics, you know, in the end, because nobody really thought about what they were doing. It's kind of like trying to impress you with a 4-point perspective, but for no good reason, you know, where you're doing this curvilinear perspective. Oh, really cool. What's going on in the panel? Is it vertigo? Is he on drugs? What's happening? No, I just drew it because I thought it looked cool. And I think ultimately that just detracts from the story. I think that's a nice way of putting it. People get really offended sometimes. You don't like that curvilinear perspective? You know, unless you're showing something. I get it. People do it to show off or whatever. They prove that they read that chapter in the David Chelsea book or whatever. Like if you want to see a real flex, you know, it's when somebody would draw one of those uh, spiral like wrought iron staircases in like a '60s comic, and it's like perfect. Those are hard to draw. But and I know I have a minority opinion on this, but I don't think comics are about the art at all. And your boy Zach goes, it's a visual medium. It's a storytelling medium. That's my opinion. And the real villain, I mean, I'm convinced that like Sadowski thought he was just doing like as if he had discovered the wheel or something, by um, taking photos of his friends or his roommates, or maybe he hired somebody and then tracing him. He probably thought he was doing something really incredible with the Justice Society. And we're not talking about recently too. That was 20 years ago. It was 1998 or so. 22 years ago. 24 years ago. It was a long time. But it doesn't age well. It's not. You go back and look at it and you go, yeah, this guy was probably pleased as punch when he got that gig. One of the great things about cartoonist kayfabe and why they're doing such important work really is they're showcasing all these old comics that people have dismissed because they didn't understand the art style. One thing I think that both Piscord and Rugg understand is that what you were seeing was genius, and he was like the other day he was showcasing some of Harvey Kurtzman's war comics from EC, and these are not realistically drawn. Um, or even there's not impressive effects in here. There's no photorealism going on here. Um, but the feel to them is very authentic, and they hold your attention all the way through. So for someone to come along and say, well, it's comics is a visual medium, and this guy, he didn't do um, the things I was expecting to see. Just seems ridiculous. Now that doesn't mean that your art can be complete dog shit. You can like pass that off as your style. That's not a thing. That's you can tell um, what's sometimes called a naive style. Um, I'll give you an example. Sergio Aragone's Grew the Wanderer, right? Grew the Wanderer is not drawn to be realistic, but it's drawn very well. Like it's drawn convincingly. There's a lot of confidence in those lines, and the look of it is great. Okay. Well, before I get to doing into too much stuff, let's see what else is out there. Ah, yes, the creature. I'm kind of faking out a little bit on my silhouette. Another thing that kind of annoys me, as long as we're on the subject, is what I call just low effort, where you can tell it's a trace, or you can tell they copy pasted elements from one panel to the other, like a gun, like a character has a gun, and then you see the same gun in the next panel, and you can tell it's a copy paste, you know, or the so-called talking heads panels, you know. If you don't pay attention, if you do low effort, it's everybody could tell. It's not like anybody is not being able to tell the low effort one. All right, what's going on here? I think that I screwed this up. You know where I screwed it up? It's really there. Yeah, I don't know what people are afraid of when they do these low effort things. Put the effort in. Even if it comes out wrong, it looks like you did it. Okay, I know. I knew that was going to happen. All right, let's try this. We'll go over this whole thing. We're going to look for where's the bleed coming out. There is oh, there it is right there. There is a way to close off your outlines. Like the way to do it is you drag it over, but then you start to change the threshold. Oh, where is it? Could it be here? No. No. How about no? It's not it. So where is it? Could it be up here? Oh, could it be right here? All right, let's give it a shot. We're not there yet. One of the other strategies, which I don't really like to do, is to just cut it off. Is it on this half? Yes, it is, because this half will just fill right in. All right. Is it on this half? Oh, could it be right here? Could it be this? It is that. That's the one. Now the problem is you end up with some juice, some separations here. And if you're not careful, those separations can start to stick out. All right. So in a sense, we are kind of creating these silhouettes. Now, is a silhouette low effort? No. He's silhouetted against the flames. Don't you understand what I'm doing? You should have a good reason for silhouetting. I think it can be a low effort thing. He set the hedge maze on fire. And of course, he's tall enough that he can just step over it Like if you look at the other, this is not the very next page, but it's going to be one of them. You can see that he has to like, he's so big that he can, it's going to be huge. All right, what am I at? 25 minutes. I might want to wrap this one up so I can go work on some other things. Come on, man. All right, where did you go? This one. And then this one. Okay. What is it doing here? Is this some kind of cloud thing? I told you my internet was not good. Gosh. Well, serves me right, I guess. All right. We're good. We're good. We're good. I've got to maintain this plume of smoke that's going to be, should be dark smoke, I think. Then drawing flames or inking flames is always a challenge for me. I always ask whenever I get a chance to get somebody who volunteers to do some teaching on inking, can you show me flames? How do you do flames? How about water effects? Water is another one that's really tough to do. There's probably a million ways to do it, In this case, we're being pretty random here, but we're in the distance, and then we're going to do the. It's got to be sort of a consistent yet thin line. Of the blaze burning out of control, and you should see the ember, and you should see the ashes rising up into the air, and you should see the smoke plume rising up as well. You have to visualize what you're trying to portray as if you were describing it in a cave to some prehistoric hunters, what you just saw. All right, we're getting somewhere. All right. We're not there yet. Going to be a couple more sessions with this one. Maybe I'll work on it tonight. We're going to do some texturing out here in the foreground as well. The texture will also have its own shadows. We also got to do some lettering across the top. All right, then. That's enough for right now. Please like, follow, and subscribe, and you'll see more Brilla getting done. Pages and pages of it. It's all getting posted to my Instagram. You can follow me at rabbitfighter13 on Instagram. And the book will be out in June, I think. 9-Volt Adventure awaits. I think it will have this story. I think it's very likely to have Tarzan in it. It will, I hope, I'll work on Hunter-Gatherer, which I did, but then I've got to reformat. I formatted it for square panels, which was kind of dumb. I minded just redrawing it. I'm thinking of doing Hunter Gatherer. You know, why not? I've already drawn it for the most part. Might have Comet the Duck. I'll have to add another chapter to it to make it a better story. And it might have Eden in it. Where's Eden? So there will be many stories. Other people are submitting stories as well. Well, that's the thing. You can never tell what's going to show up or what else is going to show up. So um, impress me, please. Let's see what you got. I think Bishop's got one called Buckshot Wizard, second one. Buckshot Wizard number 2. And a new fella um, has got a mouse adventure that he's working on with a mice escaping from a dungeon. A mice. Um, all kinds of cool things happening with comics. Let there be more comics, of course. Don't settle for walking. Okay. Talk to you later.